Delivering the Impossible by Mark Stringer. Introduction. Many projects appear impossible. Most of them aren't. There are almost always things you can do to make them run more smoothly. You can deliver more value to their owners and users, and you can make the people who work on them happier and more effective. You just need to look at them in the right way. This book offers some different ways to do just that. The title of this book is Delivering the Impossible. But of course, you or anyone can only deliver possible things. So why did you pick up this book that has a contradiction right there on the front cover? Perhaps this sounds familiar. You're working on a project. You're the project manager and you feel stuck. It seems like the project you've been asked to deliver is impossible. You're not quite sure how this happened, but at some point, somebody promised somebody that the project would be finished by a certain date. That date was probably Christmas. Maybe you have lots of evidence, or maybe it's just instinct, but somehow you know that your team can't deliver the project by then. Maybe it's worse than that. Maybe you still don't even know what needs to be delivered. People are telling you that the project has to be finished by a certain date. But when you or your team try to get a definitive answer as to what finish means, you don't get the information you need. If you're that project manager, then this book is for you. How do you deliver a project that seems impossible? There is a good answer, which I explore in depth in this book. It's that you look at it from different angles. You find a way of seeing, or multiple ways of seeing, that make it much more possible. I'm going to present several different ways of looking at projects, and I'm going to show how switching between these ways of seeing can give projects their best chance of success. Alan Kay is a software pioneer. He invented overlapping windows in the graphical user interface. He also invented an approach to programming known as object-oriented programming. As I'm writing this, I'm using both of those inventions, and in this book we're going to use another one of his ideas. It's a quote from Alan Kay's article on the history of object-oriented programming. Point of view is worth 80 IQ points. What does this mean? It means that if you can just figure out the right way of looking at something, problem solving becomes much easier. An additional 80 IQ points would make pretty much anyone a genius. And that's the crux of my message to you. I'm going to show you different ways of looking at the problem of project management that can make us much smarter. The idea is that if we can just find the right perspective, we can be much cleverer and more effective in what we do. But of course, there's also a potential downside to Alan Kay's nugget of wisdom. Looking at something in the wrong way could take away 80 IQ points. Some ways of looking at things can make us stupid, and some of these unhelpful ways of looking at a project are extremely common. So I'll talk about these as well, and I'll try to explain why looking at things in certain ways is so unhelpful. I'll also talk about some ways of escaping from the grip of these unhelpful ways of seeing. Why now? You might think, okay, I get it. Seeing things in a different way is useful. But my project has some specific problems. I just want to fix them. I don't have time to kick everything up in the air and philosophize. Maybe we could do this another time. Part of my message throughout this book is that if you want to fix your project's immediate problems, now is absolutely the time. While for most projects, now is much later than would have been ideal, but now is better than never. We've needed better ways of thinking about software development since the 1950s. Humans have been managing the writing of software for at least 75 years, and we're still not very good at it. And now more than ever, the ability to write good software is a huge competitive advantage. Customers want software that makes their lives easier and better. They want software that is genuinely valuable to them. They've never needed it more. Being good at software development has become a way of quite literally conquering the world. Am I overstating things? I don't think so. Mark Andreessen wrote the first widely used World Wide Web browser, Mosaic. Now he runs a hugely influential venture capital firm in Silicon Valley. As he declared more than 10 years ago, software is eating the world. And since he wrote that article, software has increased its appetite. It's taken huge bites out of relationships and dating, politics, social life, music, and television. Now, with the arrival of AI, it looks like it's also taking a massive bite out of lots of other completely different kinds of work. That includes the writing of software.